All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that, let's be honest, can be a total nightmare: invoice processing. We're going to talk about how AI is coming in to clean up the chaos and unlock some pretty amazing benefits you might not expect.
Look, if you've ever been there, buried under a literal mountain of paper, your eyes glazing over from typing in endless numbers, or maybe chasing down that one person for an approval. Yeah, you know exactly what this feels like. It's not just annoying, it's a huge drag on businesses everywhere.
So we're going to get real about the true cost of all that chaos. I'm talking about the dollars and cents, but more importantly, we're going to lay out a super clear path to escape it, a way to get to a smarter, faster, and way less stressful way of doing things, all thanks to AI.
Okay, first up, let's really paint a picture of the problem. We're calling this the manual invoice maze, and it's a perfect name for it, right? It's this place where you've got these incredibly smart, skilled finance pros who are stuck doing work that, frankly, a robot should be doing.
And this right here is the heart of the problem. On one hand, you have what your AP team should be doing: big picture stuff like strategic analysis, managing supplier relationships, forecasting your cash flow, the important work. But what are they actually doing? Manual data entry, chasing people for signatures, fixing mistakes, and yes, filing away endless stacks of paper. There's a huge disconnect.
And all those little daily frustrations, they really add up. I mean, the whole process is painfully slow, it's begging for costly errors to happen, and you have almost zero real-time visibility into where your money is actually going. Get this, one study we saw said that 76% of workers spend up to 3 hours a day just shuffling data from one place to another. 3 hours! Just think about what your team could do with that time if they got it back.
Right, so this isn't just about wasted time or people being annoyed. These frustrations have very real, very serious financial consequences. The cost of this manual chaos isn't just a headache. It's measured in cold, hard cash.
Okay, check this out. According to research, the average cost to manually process just one single invoice can be anywhere from $12 to $30. Now stop and think about that. Multiply that number by the hundreds, maybe thousands of invoices your business handles every month. Suddenly, you're looking at a massive financial leak.
And it doesn't even stop there. Manual systems are just leaky. They're vulnerable. One source we looked at reported a mind-blowing $9 billion is lost around the world every year to things like invoice fraud and just paying the same bill twice by accident. These are the kinds of preventable losses that an automated system is built to catch.
So that brings us to a really important question. We've talked about the money, the hard costs, but what about the hidden cost? What's the toll this takes on your most valuable asset, your people? The smart, skilled employees you hired to think and solve problems, not just to type. Okay, this is where the story takes a turn for the better. Let's talk about the solution. And I don't want you to think about AI as some super complex, scary technology. No. Think of it more like a super assistant for your finance team. It's like a digital partner that just swoops in and handles all the boring, tedious stuff so your people don't have to.
And the financial impact is just wow. Look at this. A typical $10 manual invoice gets a bit cheaper with basic automation, right? Maybe down to around $2. But when you bring in AI-powered automation, that cost completely plummets to less than $1. That's not just a small improvement. That is a total game changer for your company's bottom line.
And here's the impact on your team's time. This is huge. AI completely flips the script on how your team spends their day. Instead of being doers who are just trapped in that data entry cycle, they become reviewers. They oversee the system and they focus their brainpower where it really matters, on strategic work and just handling the handful of exceptions that might pop up.
So let's just boil it down. The core benefits are impossible to ignore, right? You're processing invoices up to 70% faster. You're getting up to 99.5% accuracy, which means way fewer errors. You're slashing your cost per invoice. You get better security. And maybe most importantly, you get happier teams who are free from that soul-crushing repetitive work. Okay, so we've covered the why you'd want to do this. Now let's pull back the curtain on the how, because I promise it's way more straightforward than you probably think. We're going to demystify this whole automated workflow. There's no scary black box here.
It really breaks down into 4 simple steps. First, an invoice comes in. Doesn't matter if it's an email, a scan, or through a portal. Step 2, the AI instantly reads it, pulls out all the key info, and checks it. Step 3, and this is key. If anything seems off, like a mismatched number, it flags it for a quick look by a person. That's the human-in-the-loop part. And finally, once everything's approved, that clean data shoots directly into your accounting system. Boom, no more manual keying.
So, you might be wondering, what's the magic here that makes it so accurate? Well, it all comes down to AI-powered OCR. And listen, this is not that old-school OCR you might remember, the one that just kind of guessed at letters. No, modern AI actually understands context. It learns to read all sorts of different layouts, fonts, even messy handwriting. And the coolest part? It gets smarter with every single invoice it processes.
All right, so far we've been focused on things like efficiency and saving money, which are obviously huge. But the real power of this tech goes way deeper. It's about unlocking some serious strategic value for your whole business. And this is probably the most important takeaway of all. You're not just automating a single annoying task. You're truly transforming an entire business function. It's a strategic move that turns your accounts payable department from what's often seen as a cost center into a real value driver for the company.
And this is what that long-term strategic payoff looks like. You're building stronger relationships with your suppliers because you're paying them on time every time. You get real-time data, which means way better cash flow forecasting. Audits, they become a breeze. And you have an empowered, happier team that's focused on high-impact work that leads to better, faster decisions for the whole company.
So let's just end with this thought. The data shows you can get back as much as 80% of the time your team is currently spending on manual AP tasks. So really, the question isn't, does the technology work? Because we know it does. The real question is this: what could your business do with all of that reclaimed time?